there are people who deny that any of us had any scientific or astronomical knowledge. That doesn't quite square with the facts. Um, some of our ancestors had passed down lore about the stars. Some could read the stars. And again, the most important was Polaris, the North Star. You follow that star, you would generally go away from slavery and you'd be heading toward freedom. Um, but there were also a raft of code words, signs, and symbols that would move you from one station to another, and ultimately with the goal being to get you always north, to get you away from this. And this is uh, what we can begin maybe to take a look at for 1848 and the largest mass escape attempt in the history of the Underground Railroad occurs in D.C. down on the wharf. I can't overuse the word when I think about the courage and fortitude, the resourcefulness of our ancestors just on the local Underground Railroad in the DMV, uh, constantly. And it's not easy. It's difficult. It's difficult. And again, to try and do this without a phone, I mean, people think nothing of that. We didn't have those things then. And to pull, how do you pull in the Pearl Affair, 1848, largest mass escape attempt by water in the history of the Underground Railroad? You're getting more than 70 men, women, and children from various parts of the city. And yet that's done. The men and women are marshaling these freedom-seeking black folk, getting them from their neighborhoods down to the wharf and on board a vessel at the DC wharf. And they still make it happen and are at least able to go 150 miles downriver, at least, before they are discovered. And I guess when you look back on it, there was there was only a little chance, because that first morning in April of 1848, a lot of slave owners are waking up and they don't smell no biscuits baking, ain't no bacon frying. The little boy that might have served as a foot warmer for massa at night, no matter how uncomfortable the little boy may have been, he's gone. There's no food. Somebody's got to go find out where these colored people are. And sure enough, uh, they find, through the use of an informer, these people are, and they're at the DC wharf. They're on their way to freedom. And so while the ship called the Pearl, is leaving out from a secluded part of the wharf, the slave owners, they ain't depending on sail. They're not doing the wind thing. So they have a paddle wheel steamboat called the Sailor. They're not taking any chances with their stuff. So that's how they go after them. And as it turns out, with a bit of bad fortune, just near a place called Cornfield Harbor, the wind dies down. And they are finally caught, brought back. We almost have another riot. And when they talk to two of the best known participants, Emily and Mary Edmondson, one of the sisters tells her, hey, yeah, I did it. I mean, they are unrepentant. They're not trying to come up with some answer that went, no, they did it for freedom. I think about a young fella. He was profiled in the Post just a few days ago. He invented a game in prison, a dice game. He said he met, we know him as H. Rat Brown. And he said the difference between the young people today and the young people of his day was that young people in his day were willing to die for something, while young people today are willing to kill for something. There is a difference. Yes. There is a difference. What that has meant for us for tomorrow can only be found out tomorrow. But for today, we can at least take encouragement and inspiration from the activities of the Underground Railroad. And it shows you most importantly, that despite what you may hear in moments of frustration, Black people have stuck together. Don't tell your children, "Oh, Black people don't stick together." Had that been true, well, we'd have kissed the Underground Railroad goodbye. We could have kissed the Civil Rights Movement goodbye. But we have done it when the chips were down, when the breaks needed to be made. There are too many examples of us coming together as a people. Now, as Brother Smallwood might have said, well, still maybe not on time, maybe not in the most efficient manner, but we did do it and we did get results. And so the lesson of the Underground Railroad in the district is that despite the difficulties and despite the risks, we kept on trying.